I don't know if you can notice, but I get high anxiety in terms of like meeting new people and just like
Oh,
being in
Matt,
new.
yeah, I was thinking about that because I've done a lot of podcasts for through boxing, and then I have to commentate on other fights. They're like, oh, we're bringing in this champ to commentate. And it's so funny because I had social anxiety like a mofo, like,
Yeah.
but I just am used to it now.
Actually, how does that commentary work? How does it work? Because I've only seen it like I don't know if there are different types of commentaries, like, MMAs where, there are people cheering and there's like a proper
Yeah.
desk of people like, commentating live while the action is happening. Um, but
Yeah.
is that the
I
kind
mean,
of commentary?
similar. It's really fun to sit, you're a fighter and you you know a lot about it. It's really fun to sit there and watch other people do it when you yourself are doing it too, and you get to kind of talk about it and not be the one in the ring uh be like being criticized, not criticized, but you know what I mean. So it's fun, but we did it for our house shows. So, with boxing and MMA too, they have like club shows. They're called
Yeah.
white collar shows. And each gym has their own, maybe they're for charity and they have just gym members, or, maybe I did one that was police officers versus firefighters.
Whoa. Like
Uh,
for real?
yeah. And they fight each
Whoa.
other. Yeah.
Do they have like beef with each other? Like, oh, you're a police and,
they, they
kind
kind of do sometimes. Like, actually, it's pretty funny.
of.
My first fight, um I joined up kind of with the I'm in Brooklyn, so I joined up with the NYPD and like kind of was
Whoa.
an NYPD for a day, and that I fought with them.
Whoa.
And they really do have beef with. We fought London. We fought they flew over from London, but they know each other and they do have beef with each other. They talk a lot of shit.
I don't know what's there to be have a beef about. Like
Yeah,
they're
you
the
would think
same
they would have
heroes.
camaraderie. Yeah, exactly. They're all heroes. They should have camaraderie, and but no,
That's
yeah,
really
it's
funny.
yeah, I know I just because I wasn't one, I just was kind of in the background laughing at them, I guess. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, it's
Well,
funny.
actually, like when you're in the commentary seat, do you ever get like, when it relating back to like your social anxiety, it must be like even more heightened because for me, it's just like a one-on-one conversation and we get used to it, it
Hmm.
starts to feel more like a natural conversation as time goes on. But like with you, it's kind of like, there are other people in the crowd probably listening, and there's also the people in the ring who's probably listening to you literally criticizing their actions and
Yeah.
kind of
E-
unfiltered broadcast of what's actually happening. So do you ever get like like, oh my gosh, what if I get what if I say the wrong shit, or like it's
yeah.
awful, or I make a I don't know, if I blurt out something like
No, well,
I
it's
can't take back.
I I have respect for anyone that steps in the ring to fight. It takes a
Mm,
lot of guts. And so, sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. It's just the reality of it, especially in the club shows. And I try to keep it positive. And I'm kind of a sarcastic person.
yeah.
So, yeah, I watch myself. I won't lie. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
I'm
mean, you
like,
always
oh,
got
don't
to
say
do when
that.
you're the one speaking, you just got to watch your
Yeah,
mouth.
yeah, yeah.
Because like,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like you don't always mean every single thing you say. Like sometimes I start to like say stuff that I don't mean. I wish I could
Yeah.
take back just to like fill the silence, or like because I feel awkward, or I don't know, I just feel compelled to say something, and it's not necessarily something that I'm proud of all the time. Um
Yeah.
so
It's
yeah,
like I used the wrong word to describe that. I did
yeah, or
not mean
like
that.
the wrong analogy, wrong example, the list can go on, but
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
I do try to watch my mouth as well. I think I'm pretty sarcastic as well myself. Um, it's just like I do get quite cynical at times with things like, oh,
Yeah,
no,
don't make
you're
it.
right.
Yeah, and try that in like personal training too. People want positivity all the time,
Oh yeah.
and and they don't want it, but and so but you should bring it, right? Like people are using that hour when you're training them or whatever it might be. You want to bring a positive energy. So
Mm.
again, I bring my sarcasm to it, but I watch it a little bit, just make sure I'm not, you know, being
I
too dark.
I actually do have a short like I mean, just to put things into context, uh I'm not an athletic person by any means. Like I occasionally like dance in my room and stuff, but like it's
I
nothing
saw you.
athletic.
I saw you dancing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's
I
nothing
liked it.
close.
I
Thank
saw
you.
your moves.
It's nothing close to being athletic. Like I stalked you on Instagram just briefly before moments before we got hopped on
Yes,
this call,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
it's like hardcore, I can see you personal training. Um and I do have a bit of experience just getting trained by a personal trainer just for a bit myself just to try things out.
Hmm.
And I just had a hellish time. It's not the
Did
workout
you
and
feel
the
overwhelmed by it? Like, what am I
yeah.
doing here?
And also, well,
Yeah.
not so much like what am I doing here because I signed up for it. I made up my mind to like really
Yeah.
dedicate. But actually the personal trainer that I got assigned to was actually quite like emanated a lot of negative energy for me. And I don't think that's what contributed to the negative experience that I had, but
Yeah.
it was like borderline screaming at me,
Oh my
like
gosh.
yeah. I
Yeah.
felt very yeah,
That's
it was overwhelming in that sense. Um
that is uh I've never I take everybody as they are because my friend says this, actually. I'm thinking of her. She says there's an athlete in everybody. Like I take everybody as they are. I never want to overwhelm people because I want to promote they or you were there to do something positive for yourself and learn. So why would you scream at somebody? That sounds horrible.
and also like they gotta understand that my core muscle is not at the same buff core muscle that they have, so I can't hold
Yeah.
on with this plank for as long as they can. And I feel bad when I can't hold on. And
Well,
like
it's all learning. I was an athlete growing up, and I'm
mm,
really tall and athletic, like you say, but I've been really out of shape too. So at one point, I was, I'm in my 30s now. I was really wild in my 20s, and I played music too. And
whoa,
yeah, and late nights, and yeah,
alcohol.
wild. Yeah, exactly. Like, yes, that's
You
the
gotta
word,
have that
alcohol.
kind of phase.
Yeah.
Gotta have it.
So, and it was punk rock. It just all like it's the scene. So I've been really out of shape and had to get back in shape too. And I actually I would go to, and I'm a big person, and at that point I weighed like 200 pounds, over 200 pounds. So
Oh.
I would go to group classes, and I always wanted to try boxing too. I would go. It made me feel horrible. I'm big. I just don't fit in the space allotted to me. And they're yelling at me. I can't do it. I can't keep up with everybody. It does make you feel horrible. So I guess I have that perspective. Whereas I do see other trainers that have never really been through that. They've always just been a great athlete, and they don't know what it's like to
What it's
just
like to
feel
be on the other
awkward.
side of the fence or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. To feel just awkward in your space. And yeah. Well, for me, that was how I felt anyway.
Well, what made you want to go on with boxing though, if that was kind of the first initial experience that you had with it?
um, that's a good question. I always dabbled in it. I guess I kept going back to it. So I finally previous life, music, also doing accounting in my day life.
Mm.
And I was really unhappy. So I started running just for my mental health. I started running around the park here, and I got good at running around the park. I was able to complete at the time it was like 5 miles, and I needed something to like keep me going. I was like, okay, I'm bored with this. And I called my friend. He's like, I said, I want to be a boxer. Or I just, I
Just
want to have
straight
a
up.
boxing match. Yeah, it's just like, I want to be a
Oh,
boxer. I was running and I was doing good. And he said, I show up at, gave me it was 275 Marcus Garvey at 5:30 p.m. Something
I'll
really
give you the good
cryptic.
stuff.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
so cryptic. That's how it was. I was like, okay, ask for Nate. So I went, and it was really like a hole in the wall. And like, I walked in like, I want to be a boxer. They probably thought it was hilarious. Like, I give this girl a week, but I stayed, and I got
Wow,
my ass beat at first, but I did stay.
that's
And I went
awesome.
with it. Yeah.
How was the first week, if you could describe? Like, was it hellish? Was it like, like literal grit? Like, I'm gonna get through this, or was it like actually quite pleasant and enjoyable generally throughout?
Not pleasant at all. Well, so it was in the evening, right? So I would work, accounting as a job where you sit, so I would go, it was, I think, from 6:30 to, let's say I got home at 10 at night, and I
Oh,
would just pass out. I would sometimes like sit in under I didn't have a bathtub at the time, so I would just sit in the shower, like, I'm so much pain, because it was so much harder. You're working all the muscles, trying to spar with people. And and they really threw me in the ring right away. That gym was not, I don't recommend people do it the way I did it. I broke my nose, like,
oh,
uh yeah. I really got beat up by a lot of young gentlemen who are my friends now, but because eventually
wow.
I got better, and like I hope respected it. And but yeah, a lot of, I would come home, I would just fall asleep at night. I didn't have any energy for anything else. And that was good though, right? Because I just wanted to like kind of change my life and be a little more focused. So, I couldn't go out at night. I would just wake up in the morning and go to work, tired,
Yeah.
and just sit there till I would go again.
Oh, I mean, no wonder why you were tired if you're getting punched in the face like, till
Yeah.
10 in the evening for like
Yeah.
every
It was,
single day. That must have been intense. I've never broken a nose before. I've never been punched in the face
have you,
before.
that's actually the make or break of what I've had, I've worked with women, men, anyone who's like, okay, I want to try boxing. That's the
Are you
make or
ready?
break. Are you okay with being punched?
I
That's
mean,
it.
like, I heard that nose breaking is like a standard. It's like so common and it happens so often
Yeah.
that you just gotta, brace yourself for it, basically.
It's like, it's part of the job.
Whoa.
You're going to have it's called, deviated septum. And it's just, yeah, it's part of the gig.
Have you ever gotten like surgery to get it treated and stuff?
I will when I'm done. Um, there's surgery to open up the nasal passageways
Mm.
and like fix them, because
Yeah, to
but
just like make breathing easier and stuff, right?
yeah, mine's not that bad
Yeah.
at this point, because I rushed into boxing. It hasn't been that long. I've only been doing it 3 years now, and one of the years was COVID, so I wouldn't even count it.
Right. Yeah.
So um I just went all in. I went crazy, like, I'm gonna be a boxer now. And then the next year I made it to the Olympic trials. Like,
I
I
was gonna bring that
180.
up. I was gonna bring that up because it was like, we're going from one week of like just going in the ring for the first time and then doing that for just a year, and then you're getting like Olympics are in the list, and like championships, like all these like titles. It's just so impressive. And like
Yeah.
I don't do you think you can like you can tell or pinpoint where the transition was, or was it like a very gradual process of like this is the milestone, this is the milestone, or was it just like keep on going and see where it goes?
Well, I switched. So I went to the gym and speaking of, just negativity, my trainer there was very, this is like being a female in the sport kind of thing.
Mm.
He's getting a little weird and possessive, kind of like telling me I was bad at it to keep me there. I don't know how to describe this really. Like, really hard on me. If I would mess up, you're the worst boxer ever. And yeah. And I'm an adult, and I realized like this isn't right. I
Hell
can't
yeah.
really yeah, I had to like so I switched trainers. I found him through a gym I walked into in Florida. He was on the wall, and Steve, my new trainer, was a world champion and Olympian. And I went and tried out for him. I was so nervous. It was like a level up, you know what I mean? Because I'd been told I was horrible.
Mm.
So, so I was shaking. Like I was so nervous. And he took me in. He doesn't even train amateurs usually. So he took me in and completely, trained me. And he's the person who really got me there and told me like, no, you're good at this. He was always positive.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of lessons from that guy for sure of, that's not what boxing's supposed to be like for you too.
So are you still training with him nowadays to this date?
Once COVID hit, everyone dispersed just,
Oh,
financial reasons.
yeah.
And, he had to take care of his family and his mom, and same with me. So I'm still working with him in that he does train professionals and he has promotions, and so I would say we do still work together, but it's just different now. But you know, close
Man,
friend, like just
Rona.
yeah,
It's
yeah, exactly. Like
yeah.
no, our lives 180'd.
Has it literally changed a lot, just completely 180'd, basically since
Yes.
COVID hit?
Yeah, I
Man.
was in a completely different space. I imagine you were too, and
Yeah, probably in a very different way from yours. Actually, like for me, it was a very kind of um almost like a coincidental incident, COVID, because the moment the at a similar date I decided to kind of do music
Mhm.
was when kind of around the time when COVID started to do its thing to the
Oh,
world.
really?
Yeah, so I
Cool.
yeah, so like the moment I decided to be a musician, that was the start of my hermit days. It's like room
That's
all day
interesting.
long, all night long, just in my room, no human contact. It's really, really unhealthy. I'm telling you, it's really bad.
No,
Um,
I know. 'Cause, yeah.
so yeah, it has changed a lot since COVID, but I'm not sure if it was because I made the decision to, do this career change, or actually because of Corona, but as opposed to you, it was more like, you're doing the same thing, but Corona hit and things just changed completely, right?
Yeah. I was about to have my professional debut with my trainer,
Damn it.
and it was a really, yeah, it was I know it was a nice one. Like it's going to
Yeah.
be televised and
Yeah.
uh, in New York. And yeah, it changed everything. But, a lot of same as you in that I started um, my virtual personal training project. Like I started a lot of cool things because of Corona and having to, we all had this perspective of humanity and we're all going through this
Mm, yeah.
and we're losing people around us. I mean, I don't know about you, but in the boxing community, there are a lot of people who are older and, a lot of trainers. We were just losing people left and right. And, so I think we all have matured and changed from it, you
Yeah.
know,
Sure. Do you
and,
think
and
you're
gotten,
gonna, sorry,
go ahead.
continue.
No, I think it just exposed like, what do we really want to do with our life is short. What do we want to do with it?
Yeah. And it's, life throws you things you didn't, just curveballs that you just never could see coming. Um,
Yeah.
Man, do you think
But
you're
that,
gonna, when this whole pandemic ends, do you think you're still gonna pursue the professional debut though?
yeah, I'm hoping to have it by the end of the year because things are kind of
Cool.
yeah, everyone's getting vaccine now. So I'm moving. Hopefully I'm lining up a team down there and I have people in Florida. I have people around now that, I was branching out and working with during us being locked down. I've traveled and yeah, so I'm hoping to still have it. I just at this point I'm really determined to see it through.
Mm.
It's kind of like I feel competitive with coronavirus.
Yeah, it's
It's like,
like
no,
you don't have power over me.
yeah, I will still.
Yeah. I think it has like brought this kind of very strange but warm grit in the human society, like people are like, we're all in this together and we're gonna fight
Yeah,
this thing. I don't know, at least in Korea, we have a lot of like what is it called? The national commercials that, the government makes and stuff, where it's
yeah, yeah,
like, it's like empowering the society to get through this together. And it's actually the first like series of these kind of national commercials that I actually that just makes me feel good. Most of the time
yeah,
it's like usually smoking commercials that just kind of grosses you out and it's like kind of very like very sensitive images and stuff. But like with coronavirus related commercials, it just makes you feel empowered and makes me want to keep going and stuff.
yeah. I can't say that our this is getting really political, but I can't say our country like came together during this time because there was, I mean, I'm sure like there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I
But
saw.
on a scale of our community and our family, people did come together.
Mm. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
politically it's kind of been treated differently depending on the countries and some people just don't agree and some people I just put it bluntly, some countries just did terrible jobs at dealing with it initially, which was like the most important stage probably. Um
yeah. And I only see what I again, like it's what the news shows us, but I mean, I saw that in Korea, that everybody was like, I saw a lot of positivity coming from there and that people were coming together and to, everybody kind of made the numbers go down and we're allowed to then walk the streets. That was like a commercial we saw, or like I don't know if I saw,
really?
again, like I don't know where, it's like what we're shown, but
Yeah. Just subliminal stuff that you just see on the internet or like TVs
yeah,
and
like they're doing great. You're not, you know,
I mean,
like
Korea
this country's open again.
and look how you're doing. You're doing shit. I mean, like,
Yeah.
I think Korea actually was one of the countries that had the highest number of COVID cases initially, which was like, like Korea was like on the second highest number in the entire world when in the initial stage of the pandemic, actually, where it made Korea actually like a prohibited country for traveling and stuff. So people are like, oh, don't go to Korea, don't go to South Korea because like there's so many like COVID cases right now. And then like I think that's when the government started to take notice of it and like really started to, oh man, we gotta, we gotta get this shit.
Get on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really need to get it. So yeah, that's when they started to get like super, super duper like meticulous about tracking people. And like I think I still do, but I muted it because it was happening so frequently throughout the day where they send like national texts to people. Like I think it pretty much applies to anybody who has a cell phone, but you basically get this like these national texts where it tells you where the current case of people diagnosed with COVID are going. So I don't know how they track these people, but you get live.
We have that too.
Really? It's like I
It's
don't know how do they.
creepy.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy. Like how do they track these people? It's like they don't reveal their names, but they're, obviously tracking, don't go to this restaurant because somebody just visited this with COVID just visited this restaurant. I'm assuming that's probably going to be pretty bad for business as well. People who, run
Yeah.
restaurants and stuff. Man.
Yeah, your phone's going off like, do not be here.
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. It's just
That's I turned mine off,
mine
honestly.
too. Yeah.
I don't know
I do
why.
take precautions, but man, it's just
Yeah.
really just ringing all day long if I don't turn it off.
And I don't think maybe they were I don't think it's accurate. Or I don't know. It's also just creepy. The whole mix of it. I do take precautions, the things that I do what we're supposed to do. But if we do what we're supposed to do, we should be fine, right? Like if we're wearing a mask, it shouldn't matter,
And
hypothetically.
I also never get out of the house. So I'm like in natural quarantine like 24/7. So it's like, you know,
Yeah,
I'm just in my
working.
house. Yeah.
That's
Um,
what everybody is like still. And I see, oh, we all have the vaccine and we're coming out of it. Everyone's still at home working. It's not
yeah.
the same. People are not really going out at all still.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's probably not going to be till the like late in the year that things are going to slowly start to open up again. Hopefully, fingers crossed that it does, at least by that date. Um,
Would you hypothetically, if once thing you would have to travel a lot before or now, or would you still be working at home even if COVID didn't exist? That's what I'm asking.
I think it's like I use almost it almost sometimes feels like I use COVID as an excuse to like stay at home, if you know what I mean. Like
Hmm.
in a bad way. Like, oh, it's COVID outside, so COVID out. So I'm just gonna stay home. I'm just gonna stay home because it's like dangerous or whatever, what outside. Um, but I feel like when things open up, I'm no longer gonna have that excuse. So it's like if I decide to stay at home all day long in a very unhealthy way, regardless of the fact that things opened up outside, then that's that's being unhealthy, border just downright unhealthy. Um, so I do
Yeah.
want to be more active and outdoors and traveling more when things open up, for sure. I think.
Well, I think we're all even children in school. I know children that just are still working on their laptop. I think we're faced with an interesting, I don't know what you would call it, but we're all working from home. We all really I mean, I like virtual personal training a lot. It's pretty,
Mm,
I just have fun with I find a creativity in having to make videos for that. And I don't know, it fulfills my creative side somehow, I
oh
guess.
yeah.
So, but we're all faced with like, okay, now we all work from home. What are we going to do? Because, what you said, it's not that healthy. Like we do have to go outside
I
and
think that's the
socialize.
biggest challenge because I actually don't mind creating it's in and of the act of creating itself. Like, but it does involve a lot of sedentary activities, like, just sitting down, editing, shooting, I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
writing up a concept or brainstorming, emailing, all these stuff, just like you're just sitting down in your chair all day long. And
Yeah.
unless you have, you know, the motivation and the grit and the desire or whatever excuse to get out of the house and do something, then you're just going to be doing work all day long in your room. um
It's
so
really hard to switch that button on to
yeah.
like, I yes, I know how to do it because even boxing is like stop and go. You sit forever, they check you in, like you're poked and prodded and physically evaluated, and then you fight. So you have to like turn it on.
Mm.
But my clients will, be like, oh, I'm not like you. Like the fact that you work in an office or at home all day now, at home all day, and that you could even turn it on to have a workout, it's really hard. It's really hard to do the stop and go.
Yeah. I think especially it's difficult when you don't find exercise as a happy drug. For some people,
Yeah.
people find joy and sometimes even like mental relaxation from working out and being physically active. But I think that takes a lot of working up to. So for people who are not naturally um, physically active and are not used to doing a lot of physical activity, that stuff is work. It's extra work to do, and it takes
Yeah.
a lot of willpower to get outside, jog, go out for a walk, all that stuff. Um, so I think
No,
that in
it's
that case, it's a lot more challenging, I think.
yeah, I work on this a lot with people. Just, you know, them finding their thing,
Mm.
whatever it is that, maybe it's weightlifting, maybe it's just going for a walk, maybe it's, going, to play a sport with their friends, whatever it really is, you have to find that thing that you feel comfortable doing that, it does make you happy. And
Yes,
definitely like someone yelling at you
is
is not going to help you
probably
find
not
it.
gonna make you want to get out of the house more.
Yeah,
I
it's
agree with
horrible.
that. Like you got to really find that thing that
Mm-hmm.
you can enjoy. I mean, even then you're still gonna probably have to drag yourself out of the house at times, uh, because you're just
Yeah,
not used to moving as much. But
yeah,
I do think there's definitely that one kind of sport that people just find joy and willpower in, I think.
yeah, or just motion, type of motion. Like, I have people, they just like rowing, they have a rower,
Mm. Yeah.
or just, or even, just that you're the thing you're okay with, that you, and it kind of actually, it starts there. That's like the seed, just, to not talk about other people, talk about myself. I'll put it in context of myself. Mine was running. I was always just okay with running. Like I can get through it. And it started there. And then I wanted to try, like, I do so much stuff that I actually don't like, surrounding the boxing. Like, I don't want to, weightlifting. I don't love weightlifting, but I know I love boxing. So
So you
I
kind of
need
have
it
to
for
do it.
boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So like it kind of is like a seed that, and then like one thing leads to another. It's like choosing to try to find it. You have to like go through all the things you don't like to find the thing you like.
Oh yeah, for sure. I
Yeah.
think
Is it anything in life, right?
this is very philosophical also.
Yeah,
Uh,
I'm getting.
getting all like life. Uh for me, I think it was also like finding little hints from my daily life that I think might be a, little like gateway into finding something that I actually been personally learning modern contemporary dance. I'm terrible at it. I'm terrible, honestly. Like you got to
I
see
don't.
the face of the dance instructors. You got to see his expression when I just really messed up the routine in its like first 5 seconds. But I'm enjoying a lot. But the actual reason that I started learning contemporary dance wasn't actually because I wanted to learn dancing, but was actually because I found myself like strangely enjoying like balancing myself. Like
Mhm.
I don't know if this is a weird habit, but I get out of the shower when I get out of the shower, the first thing that I do is wear my socks. I don't know why, but it's like the first
That's
thing
the
that I
first
wear.
thing you put on. That's the
Yeah, the
first thing you put
first
on.
thing. So, like, I get out of the
I love
shower
it.
and I take one sock, and while I'm wear and like putting in the one sock in my foot, I like balancing on my one leg,
Oh,
like
I
just to
I
like,
do. I know what you mean.
like it feels very like, like it's like I feel like my body's like, oh, yes, I'm
Yeah.
balancing. And I do the
Yeah.
same thing with the other foot. And like I balance myself while I do that. And it's like a little like therapy after shower. And I
Yeah.
don't know
It is.
how that led me, what the thought process was that led me to want to learn contemporary dance from wearing socks after shower. But,
That's
I'm
how it goes.
yeah, it's like finding hints, and that's how I started
Yeah.
learning. And and it's like you said, with like you hate weightlifting, but you kind of have to do it because you love boxing. It's kind of the same thing
Mhm.
for me with contemporary dance, where they make you stretch and they make you do like little like planks before, as a warm up. And I hate those kind of stuff, but it makes me want to get better at these things because it means I can probably control my body better while I'm dancing.
Yes.
Planks are my
Yeah.
worst fears nowadays. Are really difficult. I can't hold on for more than 20 seconds, I think, max.
There are endless types of planks too. There's so many types.
I don't I think I'm doing it all wrong as well. My back hurts and they say your back is not supposed to hurt while where you're planking.
Um, a lot of people when they're first, I see this a lot actually, when they're first starting, they're trying to pull. So it's all about the muscles that you pull from, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You're doing it, you're like, oh, this is hard. The muscles that you're flexing to keep you in that position are, you want to put the stress on your abs, your shoulders are involved in there. So that takes shoulder stabilization.
Hmm.
And a lot of people are really using their lower backs a
To
lot
you keep up.
ver-
Yeah.
versus like drawing in your core. Like, you know, they're not trainers, right? So like the next time you do it, flex your abs just
Okay.
automatically. Anytime you do, they make you do a core exercise. It's a thing. But you pre-brace your abs. So try it,
Okay.
and I hope it works. It should work for you.
I do it
if
today,
you pre.
actually. I do it today.
Oh,
I
okay.
wasn't
Oh yeah,
looking
it's
forward
smart.
to it, but I have the tip from you. So I'm gonna try it
Yeah.
out. Okay,
Uh,
put that
Before
emphasis.
you, yeah, when you're about to do it, pre-brace your abs.
So how
It
does
it
the
will help.
pre-break work? Oh, did you hear that? I just
Yeah,
heard a beep.
yeah, I heard it.
This is fine.
um, it works because you're drawing in your abs. So you're kind of signaling to your body, like, okay, we're going to use these muscles. We're not going to use these other ones
Right.
to keep to keep us up. We're using our abs because like I'm telling you basically to mentally use those if you automatically use. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So how does it like is it like a mindset thing or like an actual physical thing where you're flexing your core right before you do your core exercise?
It's mental.
Oh, right, okay.
Um, Well, it's both, like in the bigger sense with people, and they have muscle imbalances. So maybe
Mm,
you're stronger in one area and weaker in another. But it's mental too, just knowing where to uh, pull your strength from,
yeah.
if that makes sense. So maybe you're pulling from the muscles in your back, maybe, which you really shouldn't be. I see a lot of people when they get into core work, though, have a lot of lower back pain.
Yeah.
Um, some of it could be, you're getting used to it. It depends what kind of pain.
Mm,
But try that pre-bracing. It does help a lot.
okay. I do it today, so
Yeah,
I'm
I want to know. Let me know.
I'm gonna be thinking about that tip like right before, because I literally get so scared prior to doing a plank.
Because now
Uh,
you're stressed about them because,
I'm not
you
really
know.
stressed, but it's just like, I want to do better, you know? It's like the dance
Yeah,
instructor just like 1 minute, hold on, and I really want to hold on, you know? Um, and I think that's it. Like I think that's the indicator that I am enjoying this sport, because like I want to get better. I want to hold on. Whereas other
that's
exercises
cool.
that I don't like and have not enjoyed as much is like I want to give up, you know?
Yeah. And you will get better at it. And you'll get all these tips from me and your instructors. It's just showing up and doing it. Like, you probably can do it for longer now than you could when you first started.
I think
Like,
a few seconds actually, by a few seconds. So yeah, first
yeah,
it was like
it adds
five
up.
seconds.
Yeah.
Um,
I, I don't think, I think at one point I could not plank for a minute, and now, it's easier for I do it all the time. So but it adds up. You'll look back like a year later and like, you're
how
like,
long
wow,
can
that's
you do it for
crazy.
now? How long can you do it for?
That's a good question. A few minutes probably. I've never maxed
Oh,
out.
I would
I've
die.
never
I would literally die trying to do plank for a few more than a minute.
I mean, I'm sure I've got like 2, 3 minutes in me. I want to max. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to max it out to see how long I
Yeah.
can go.
Please flex it on me, and so that I can like motivate myself. Well, I'm gonna be able to hold
You
on
can.
as much as Melody can.
It's like, think about it though, really. It's a full body, because you're using your shoulders to hold yourself up. And I could say, like, it's all, you're using your entire body to hold yourself up. And that, if you're like, oh, my shoulders are burning, that's, maybe pull more from your abs, maybe pull more from your glutes.
Mm,
It really is strengthening and stabilizing all those muscles.
yeah.
So it's a good exercise to be doing,
I think
especially for
that's
dance.
I think that's such a good tip, because that pre-brace concept, because I think so many of the people who start exercising, especially alone in their homes, there's so many like home gym videos nowadays on YouTube that you can easily, get a yoga mat or something and then just, follow the
Go
instructors.
for it.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
online. But I think the problem with those is that they don't give you these kind of like pre-brace tips that you just gave. They just do the positions and they're like,
Yeah.
follow me, do
Yeah.
the same position that I'm doing. But they don't really know what it is doing to each of their muscles. They don't really know, give at least the people that I watched, they don't give context to what muscle that we're working out right now doing this position. And um
Does your butt get really high when you do them too?
oh yeah, like I want it to get higher because it, hurts my
It's
back
easy.
low,
Yeah.
like less, yeah. And then
Yeah,
like the
try
dance
that.
instructor just pushes my butt a little bit and then it just like
I do that
ah
too.
yeah, yeah.
That's why I go around like bopping everybody like, down, down, down.
I hate it when my turn comes up. I hate it. But man, it has to come.
Yeah, you gotta, you know, you'll notice a difference in your dancing. And that's cool though. I love hearing stories like that of people who have found their thing or are on this new fitness path. It's like every personal trainer, I don't know, it makes me really happy when I hear stuff
Really?
like that.
It makes me
Yeah.
happy to hear that you're happy about it because it's like I still have a lot of insecurities when it comes to workouts, like, I
Yeah.
don't, I'm insecure that I don't have the abs, I don't have the glutes, like I hate my puny arms, and it's one of those things where you're like, if you're not in shape, then you almost don't deserve to like work out. And that's so wrong, when you get into it.
Opposite.
But
Yeah.
like when you have a lot of insecurities with your body, it also really messes up your mentality with not just dieting but also like with exercise as well. Like you almost feel like you are not deserving of being able to do these exercises, and that's really like depressing. But
I know. I really dislike that. So like my virtual personal training, like everything that I put out there, because I am tall and pretty awkward, and I'm definitely awkward growing up. And um, I would hate to be the person that puts that message out there. I want everyone to come to the party, like I would never, I'd be really upset if I found out I made someone feel bad because I know what
mm,
it's like to feel bad,
yeah,
and I think that's needed in the fitness industry. There's so much like flexing, not flexing muscles, but flexing, like, look what I can do,
yeah, like I got some big ass abs. I mean,
Yeah.
not abs, this is guns, I don't know what they're called.
That's, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of flexing going on. Yeah, yeah, I see that for sure.
I deal with this a lot in that do I have to look a certain way to be a personal trainer? Because it is true that the personal trainers who have that rack of abs or have that, are, a certain body type, they sell more, you
Mm.
know? And I don't know, I'm really hype. I don't know what to call it. Like I'm really aggressive about, I'm going to be myself. But I guess I look
Yeah,
really athletic anyway, so I don't know.
you
But like,
do. You do. Like from my perspective, you do, but I think it's
yeah,
different. One's own point of view of oneself can be a lot different from how others view um you. Uh
yeah.
so it's
And I mean,
completely different.
I've had people. I couldn't when I went to my new gym when I switched trainers. There were more females in the gym,
Mm.
and I couldn't. Coming in, I was bigger than them. I couldn't figure out. I was like, why does no one talk to me? And later they said, like, you're really intimidating.
Oh,
And I hated that. I was like, I'm not though. I'm a really nice person, you know.
yeah. I think
But yeah,
I think actually that's, and I'm not being uh sexist or anything, but I have found this trait more so amongst women than men. But I
mm-hmm.
think there's this compassionate like empathy element when it comes to women, and I think that's something that I would love to see more in the exercise community and the kind of fitness community. Um, like
Yeah,
I feel like having talked to you for just an hour, I feel like would feel much more at ease and more comfortable doing an hour of workout one-on-one, personal training workout with you than, like the guy who was screaming at me for
yeah,
an
it's
hour long.
horrible.
It's like I think we need that kind of soft power, if you will, that power of understanding, of being empathetic, and like encouragement, just, not necessarily just positivity as in like, oh, happy go lucky, like this is all good,
Yeah, you have
but
to. It's a fine line. You have to push people out of their
yeah,
wheelhouse if they're going to be uncomfortable. But to overwhelm someone or make them feel bad for being there is the worst thing you could do. It's just in so many ways, it's perpetuating stereotypes about the fitness industry. It's making the person who was there for a positive to change and to be positive, they maybe didn't after that, So yeah, I don't like to hear stories like that about that guy.
I quit. So, it's
Case
a,
in point,
yeah,
boom.
yeah, yeah.
But you found your thing later, so
Yeah,
it's a happy ending.
that's the plank thing. I'm definitely gonna like brace myself for it today and like really flex them core muscles.
And that's anything core they make you do. There's a lot of like if they make you do lunges, that's another one actually. If you pre-brace your core because you're so you don't wobble all over, just
Yeah.
brace that and you get less wobbling. It makes lunges easier, I think, believe it or
Yeah.
not.
And I think that's what contributes to a lot of the balancing in the dancing, I think, because the core is literally the core, I'm assuming. So it's like, that's
So
what
yeah,
grounds you and keeps you
exactly.
balanced. So yeah, I want to
Yeah.
like get them cores running up and getting better.
And I mean, think what are the biggest muscles? Your core include, your hamstrings, your glutes,
Oh,
your
I thought they were just
quads.
the stomach.
No, I would call core your abs. I would call the whole enchilada. I would call that core work.
Oh, right. So like the lower half of the body, basically.
Yeah.
Ah,
Maybe that's an opinion, but
yeah.
if I were making someone like glute bridges is a common core work exercise, but that's for your hamstrings and your
Mm.
glutes. Like I would consider just I think that's why it's called the core because it is your core. It's the largest muscles
That's
too.
that's true. I think I
Yeah,
thought of it more as like the literal pin, like the point of the core, which is the
abs.
yeah. I was gonna say belly button, but I feel like that's a bit too much of a small area to call it a core.
just
But
your belly
just the
button.
belly button muscle. Yeah. Uh, Melody, this was such a feel good conversation. Honestly, I feel like I'm fired up just from talking to you today. Like,
Good. I hope it works. Oh, I hope it helps you with your playing.
yeah, I'm gonna do it. And I think it's just your story in general. It's really inspiring. And you know,
Thanks.
I think it just makes people wanna just get better and start wherever they are.
Good. I would hope that would, I want to convey that message to
Yeah, I think you
people.
do. You do.
Yeah.
Really inspiring.
Yeah. And
Thank you.
uh, no problem. And if you have any more questions about your exercises, message me. I'm glad to help.
I will. I
Let me
will.
know. I'm
Yeah.
curious.
Thank you so much, Melody.
No problem. It was nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Talk soon again.
All
Keep in
right.
touch. Keep in touch.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.